discount liquor. We find they have the best
Going down to Orange. Great food today from Papa C's food truck. Today we went down. Whiskey Dick's definitely an Aaron.
So, our longtime friends, the Rusty Nail, has started a new breakfast menu, and I hear the biscuits and gravy are killer.
Yeah, so if you get a chance to get out there, 7 to 11, Monday through Friday, they're now serving breakfast, and as always, hammer time for 7 o'clock. Get out there. To get art by
Favorite sponsors, R&J Discount Liquor. We find they have the best selection of bourbons and whiskeys probably in town.
Yeah, make sure you get with Dustin in there. That guy knows his stuff. He'll always point you in the right direction, and everything they got there is always at a good price. It's at Douglas and Hillside. Anytime you need some booze, get on down to Orange. Great food today from Papa C's food truck, Papa C's barbecue.
Yeah. I had a little brisket, Matt. That was good.
I just ate straight brisket today. We went down, didn't we, Annie?
Yeah, you went about a half pound.
Yeah, we went straight brisket today.
It was good.
Whiskey Dick's definitely an Aaron Austin show favorite. Get out there anytime. They have specials every day on food and drinks. They got happy hour from 3 to 6. And how many whiskeys they got in that place, Aaron?
I think they have the most whiskeys in town. And every Monday you can do any whiskey under $25 shot for half price.
I think there's 700 plus on that building.
The Rusty has started a new breakfast menu, and I hear the biscuits and gravy are killer.
Yeah, so if you get a chance to get out there, 7 to 11, Monday through Friday, they're now serving breakfast. And as always, hammer time 4 through 6 o'clock. Get out there.
So Mopix is just north of Weston Central in the old Game Exchange building.
And there's really, you can find a little bit of everything from collectibles to Pokemon cards to action figures to video games. They have a lot of cool stuff in there, and you can also get art by Stephanie Nash. Make sure you check out Mopix and everything else. PK Pest Management. For all your pest control needs, get with Austin or contact 316-305-7108. And it's also fly season, so if you need that fly spray, get with it.
On Tuesdays, you can usually find the Aaron and Austin Show hanging out at the Cowboy Inn. It's one of our favorite sponsors. Every Tuesday they have an open mic there hosted by Jacoby Lee Winter.
So get down and check us out on Tuesday nights and check out the Cowboy Inn all the time.
Be sure you visit the Jukebox on Seneca and Walker. They have great daily drink specials and karaoke and live music on the weekends. So go check out the Jukebox. One of the Aaron Austin Show's favorite
of the way, not only living with autism, but she knows about as much as I do about it, and it wouldn't be right to not have her here.
Yeah, awesome.
Natalie.
I was getting ready to say that.
I'm Natalie.
Natalie,
This is Natalie Duke. Yes.
Natalie, what's the name of the nonprofit?
It is Together for Autism. We're just really
Pull that mic in a little bit to you.
we just really want to bring awareness to a lot of families that are living with autism and try to raise. It's a nonprofit for.
Is that mic still off?
Is it off?
Yeah, because I'm not getting her in my headphones. Go now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's way better. Pull that in
Yeah,
now.
that is now you're on.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to let Autumn explain it because she's.
So we might not have caught the name. The name of the nonprofit again is
It's Together for the Autism.
Together for the Autism.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's, you hear a lot of traditional names for autism nonprofits, and we're far from, the traditional. We want to do all the great things that other places do and more. But we really like the name because it kind of expressed who we are and, how we deal with autism.
And, and let's be fair, traditionally, autism hasn't been understood.
That is
So I mean,
Jesus, do
true.
we still haven't
So
got
let's-
it yet? I don't think we
let's
do.
move.
I think we still don't know.
So,
shit.
well, but that's what I'm saying. I think efforts like yours that are modern in nature, and we're trying to, say, hey, we don't know everything, but we're learning.
Right.
We're
trying
every
to bring
day
awareness, but
it's
yet
happening,
like have a little fun with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It,
of course.
I mean, it's
We want to bring every walk of life together. A lot of people, a lot of people, they go to websites and they'll just direct you to a bunch of resources. And there are community programs and stuff, but we want to bring stuff local to Wichita and Goddard. One of the places that we're working with, I'm not allowed to say their name, they have a couple of programs for children with mixed abilities. But they're very affordable and they are income based. They provide sports and other activities for the community. And we're working on a really big project with them to create more classes and interactive things for families.
Cool.
yeah, it's
'cause-
just a place for people to go. You know, I mean, because it's kind of when you have a kid with autism or anybody. I mean, it's hard to find activities that they feel like they can participate in.
There's a
Yeah.
lot. There's a lot of parallel play
Yes.
that I see happening. Spaces to where you can be on your phone playing Fortnite and you're actually playing with the guy next to you, but we're not physically interacting.
That
We're-
is an incredible explanation. Like that, you nailed
Yeah.
it. Like my son, he will run right along the kids playing, but
Yeah.
he's not talking to them. Don't touch him.
Yeah.
But he wants to
But still wants to be
play
included in
tag
the
or
activity,
run or
And-
throw the
right?
ball.
and they're friends. That's a very real
Yes.
friendship, but it manifests differently than maybe we would perceive.
Yeah, and
Right.
when you never communicate with your voice, you start to communicate with your eyes,
Yeah.
with your expressions, with your energy is read, and it's so amazing to watch when Jackson interacts with other nonverbal children. They have their own language. They speak to each other, and if you really just take the time to sit down and look into his eyes and watch his actions, he will talk to you.
Facial
And
expressions.
yes,
Right.
and that's kind of the awareness we want to spread. Just because he can't say words to you, he's completely nonverbal. I mean, I've
But I think
rarely
if you
heard him
really-
say "mama," "dada," like
Really pay
rarely,
attention. He's
So
pretty good
very
at, like,
few words in
showing
his
you.
life.
very
Right,
few. I
very
mean, we're
few.
talking maybe 5 that I have clearly heard.
Wow.
I mean, I know what he's saying. Sometimes we're working on it. He's doing amazing. He's gained a couple words. I can understand them. Natalie can. A lot of
If you're
the
around him.
community
that's what
cannot.
we just- I
know.
mean, we just found out the other day that he knows 8 out of his 10 numbers.
Yes,
Okay.
and and these are the little victories that
Be
we
surprised,
get
bro.
to
You'd be
celebrate.
surprised probably
Yeah,
what
we
they
were
know.
excited.
What everyone
we
knows.
were
I
very
mean,
excited.
It just when they can express themselves, you don't get to understand sometimes.
Exactly.
I think just learning how to just be quiet and pay attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is the thing is they communicate. You just have to pay attention and kind of adjust.
They
some
communicate
things,
kind of on their own terms,
right,
and
you
in
just
their own
kinda have
language.
to learn along the
sometimes, I
way
think.
of what they're trying to say.
Yeah. And a big misconception is that because they can't speak to you, they're not listening, they don't
Right.
understand.
Right.
And that's a huge part of autism awareness, in my opinion, because he understands everything you're saying. If you are talking about something he doesn't like, he will expressively
Make it
let
very
you
clear.
know.
Yeah.
You know, and it did take a while, even for me as his mom, his full-time caretaker, to see that he understood everything.
Well,
and,
sometimes it's
and
tough
he
when they
was
don't
well
give you eye
aware.
contact too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and
I mean,
he's-
because
he's very big
normally
on
when
that
you're
eye
addressing
contact.
somebody, for the most part, you're going to get a lot of eye contact from them. And you know, a lot of people that are in my family that have some autism, and people that they're more, not so much giving you, but you're getting their attention. It's just different.
Well,
And you don't realize it.
And I think when we talk about neurodivergency in general, that manifests in so many different ways.
So many.
In
different
so
ways.
many,
Yeah, just as
it's-
different as people are. I mean,
Right?
it's
Well,
just,
I mean,
yeah, it really
yeah,
is.
obviously,
It
right?
really
There
is.
it is, but
Yeah.
but it almost goes further. It's like I don't know how to say it. Okay, when our son came to us, when we adopted him, he had these self stems,
Yes.
and
Right.
and he would self stem in moments of nervousness. We found out, we looked, we
Right.
observe, and we find out that okay, he's not comfortable right now, and so he's
Which through that you kind of notice
You know.
how we all do that.
Yeah.
Because
In some shape or
Shake your
form.
leg,
right.
Or-
in some
you
shape or
know,
form, we
I
all do that. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really just about
but at that
paying
time
attention.
at that time, when I notice that, I can come through with some proprioception, and I can be like, I'm like, hey bud, you doing okay? We need a, are you needing a snack or anything? Like, you need something?
Yeah, you just and that's the thing.
Yeah.
You got to ask questions.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary for people who aren't exposed to autism to want to approach or to interact, because you
Right.
don't know how, and you don't know if they're paying attention to you. You don't know if they want to talk to you. But the thing is to not be scared. Just go up and engage and
Well, it's just
look
you
beyond the words.
treat 'em-
and then
treat them
it's
like they're a normal
inclusion.
person.
Because
Yeah.
I think they absolutely are aware.
They'll
You know
find
what I
that
mean?
they'll feel
Yeah.
they'll feel that
aware.
awkward shit. Everybody does.
Every-
Right.
I don't care from
I'm
down
so awkward.
from down, but like
You are.
so awkward.
so.
Me
But
too.
that's a different kind of awkward.
Right.
There's a different kind of awkward than when you're awkward about the person's disability.
Correct.
Like Down syndrome people feel that way. Like
Right.
everybody just wants to be treated like handicapped people, to Down syndrome, to people with autism, to anybody with a disability. They just want to be a part of the community like everybody else.
We all interact as people, and if I don't hold you against me, and you don't hold me against you, then we're probably going to get along okay, and we're going to learn about each other
Right.
and
Just
figure
being
out
open to
how
learning,
we-
I think, is
And you,
really,
got to try to
you know,
not come in with that baby talk and like
Right.
just talk to them like a
Yes.
real person. And that's hard to do
a huge
sometimes.
thing.
It's so hard to do
It is
sometimes.
hard, especially when you're not receiving a whole lot of feedback on the
Yeah.
opposite end. You kind of have to just like a hit or miss thing. But in my experience, especially with her son, he's very aware and he understands all the things. You just have to find that middle ground
yeah.
communication.
And the key is to not be afraid, or I think the parents or the caregivers, if your attention or the child's attention is unwanted at that point, that's when they should be stepping in and being like, oh, thank you for coming over and trying to play or trying to say hi, so don't be worried if you've never experienced it or been around it. Don't be afraid to approach. Most parents or caregivers or anybody
or even
who
inquire, really.
Yeah, or ask
There's no
questions.
dumb question, I think.
I don't get upset. I don't get offended. I'm not like, what did you just say to me? I am, there are people, but hey, there's Karens everywhere. You gotta, that's a part of life.
You got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. And
we have to constintly educate people around us
And
that
sometimes,
are in those communities.
and you'd be surprised sometimes you leave some of them weird, awkward conversations. Next time you interact with that person, they had to learn something. They had to go back and gnaw on it for a little bit and come back. Some people ain't thinking as quick as everybody else. Some people ain't thinking as quick as everybody else, and it takes them a little bit of time. They have to go think about it for a little bit. Then they come back and they've learned something. And kudos to those people for the most part. So
I want to switch it just a little bit.
Yeah.
One of the difficult things is diagnosis.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, can you talk about that from a personal place, or would you just like to kind of maybe talk about how that happens a lot of times?
Absolutely.
I mean,
I got goosebumps.
That's a big
when
one.
you
That's a big
mentioned
one.
that, because it was a huge part of our lives.
Yeah,
I
bet.
knew when he was 6 months old. I saw a change happen. He would give me eye contact when he was born. He was saying, Mama, Dada. I saw that. I knew. And it happened in a period of about 3 days.
Wow.
And it, so I do believe autism is present, but maybe environmental factors or it takes time to.
Can I be a little controversial? Was there a vaccine during that period of time?
Yeah, we don't speak on vaccines, but yeah. 3 days prior to him changing, there was, we obviously in our organization don't speak on why autism is caused because it's such a controversial subject, which is what got this nonprofit started last year with the RFK situation when they're investigating reasons. I stood up and was like, we got to still focus on the awareness. Don't turn this into politics. I don't care which side you're, I don't care what side you're on. They're investigating. Let them investigate.
Yeah, let them work on that.
And figure it out, and that's when, I've been thinking of this nonprofit for 5 years, but that's when the seed was planted. I did a news interview. I received so much hate in the comments. They attacked me.
Really?
They attacked me, and people I didn't even know knew about me or cared about me went into the comments and stood up.
On what grounds? What were they against?
It turned into politics. It was, I don't like Trump or I don't like the other side. Which
everything does.
Everything does. And
can we just focus on the science of figuring out
exactly? And that was the entire point of the interview.
We're just trying to make humans healthy.
I'm trying to help kids.
Yeah.
How can we move forward rather than?
Yeah, sometimes maybe sticking a bunch of random fucking fluids in a kid that just came out of a baby is not the right thing. Maybe wait a little bit.
And I believe that autism can be, you're just born with it. I do believe, there's a bunch of different causes for autism. Vaccines, I believe that some children are allergic to heavy metals and things, and that can trigger symptoms. And, I think you have to kind of have something in there to trigger to begin with, some kind of allergy or whatever it may end up being. That's why some get it, some don't with the vaccines. But the heavy metals and things like that are terrible for our bodies. That's just my personal opinion, not the opinion of the, nonprofit, but
and also seen it progress from.
Well, when you see a child, she's with this child. She had it
every day,
and then you get eye contact, and then a few things happen, and
I think as a mother, that's your child.
Yeah. When things change.
Yeah, because I spent a ton of skin on skin time and stuff with my 2 children. I was a very involved dad at the very beginning, and all through. I have a 16-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son. But you know everything about them kids if you're with them, from their personality changes and all that stuff.
And so when the shift happens, you're, as a mother, I feel like she knew right away.
So if you knew, how was the process of getting that diagnosis, getting help?
It's almost like getting
finding that out.
It's almost like getting disability.
It was worse.
Yeah.
It was worse than getting disability
because people just don't know about autism.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's such a vague.
It's such a huge. It's a spectrum.
Well, there's no two. I've never met 2 people with autism that have the same autism ever. Never, ever. And I am so exposed to autism, to the max. And
yeah, we can roll to about 10 after probably.
So getting him diagnosed, I just started calling people. So I'm like, I know something's wrong. Every doctor was like, he's too young. There's no way we don't diagnose autism this young. Be the squeaky wheel. Don't stop talking. Don't stop calling. Don't stop requesting.
Right, you have to advocate.
You do, and you're gonna cry and you're gonna get mad and you're gonna feel like nothing is working. But I got him diagnosed he was 1 year old. He's one of the youngest to ever be diagnosed because they pretty much refuse to diagnose a child with things, autism before the age of 2. They just don't like to do that because they're not developed enough. You can get them too, obviously I did, but it's it
took you fighting.
Right?
You have to fight. Yes. I fought so hard. That was all my life. And I gave up everything that was myself to fight.
One of the youngest people admitted to Heart Spring.
He was the youngest when he went to Heart Spring. After he finally got diagnosed, he was the youngest to enter there because you just fight. And so once I finally got him into an appointment, it was a 9-month wait for this appointment. Or that's why he was 1 when he got diagnosed and not under 1. And I finally got the approvals. You call your insurance. You don't let the doctors call them. You call them yourselves. You call all the case managers, the the disability organization. You call them yourself and you make them do it. You don't stop. You don't be quiet until they do what you're asking them to do, because they have to by law.
Yeah, they won't if you don't.
And early
They won't if you
intervention
don't.
is
That's
key.
the thing, is they
They-
won't if you
They
don't.
will
Well,
protect their own system.
They don't give a
They
shit
won't
about
keep
the.
it.
They don't give a shit about the nurse calling from your practice. You got to.
I
Oh,
think
they
they're just
don't.
so
They
overloaded.
don't.
They really
so
don't.
I mean, if you want
They
to
want
put
to
the work
be
in,
like,
they're
I
gonna-
need this
you have
person
be
to leave me
loud.
alone. I'm sick of
Yeah,
hearing from
you
Autumn.
basically just
Yeah.
bother
Give her
them.
what she wants.
Yeah, bother them into doing what you want. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, that's.
Well, I mean, I think you're being the caretaker's voice and also the person you're caretaking for's voice.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
like in her case, he doesn't have a voice, so
Yeah.
she has to be
You gotta be twice
his
as loud.
voice. Yes, you have
Twice
to be
as
twice
loud. Because going into interviews and doctor's appointments, I mean, still to this day, he will not let you look in his throat, his ears, his blood
Mhm.
pressure,
So
nothing.
you just kind
Can
of
you?
You have to no.
Not
I
even
mean,
at
I
home?
can clip his toenails now and his fingernails. That's
which
that's
is
huge,
improvement.
huge
you know.
progress. I mean, he does everything. You know, he's pretty much fully functional with hand over hand. That's literal and also figurative. You're guiding him every step of the way. He
Well,
can
he's made
do
a lot
it.
of progression, but I think that's because he was, he was able to get the
Get
ABA
into the ADA,
early, you know
and
what I
that's
mean?
key. I mean, if I had one key point, get them diagnosed early. It's going to be a huge
push,
pain in your
push,
butt.
push,
you're
push.
gonna give up in your head.
Well, it's a
Don't.
long process. Start early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're gonna deny. You're gonna hear that over
That's
and over. You're
insurance,
not
period.
approved. You're
Period.
denied.
I
Yes.
mean, yeah. I
That's
mean, if you're
insurance,
dealing
period.
with
Yeah, ain't nobody trying to kick nobody no dollars.
And
Yeah.
go
Them
to
cheap bastards.
therapists, go to schools, go to doctors, get notes from them. You
Document
start
everything.
sending that stuff into the insurance company, into the
They can't deny you in.
disability
right? You just have
organization.
to
They
make it
can't
loud.
deny
You
you.
have to
Right.
make yourself seen.
Just
and
do
heard.
anything and everything you can to push anything through their system. The more they see you, the more they are
Yeah.
going to put you up at the front. And me pushing so hard and getting diagnosed so early actually pushed him to the top of the wait list at Heartspring.
Beautiful.
He went there for ABA for 8 years. He's 11. He started there when he was just before he turned 2 for speech, and then he went there for ABA for 8 years.
I bet that's helped so much.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
I mean,
much.
our
Well, you have a
first goal
support
was
system. You have a support system.
our very first goal was him sitting in a chair for 3 seconds. I mean, imagine,
right?
imagine this. That is our first goal of just basic.
And now at
living
11,
skills.
he knows
Yeah.
like 8
He sits
out of his
all day
10
in
out of
class,
his 10
yeah.
numbers, which is something I think
That
we
was
weren't sure if was going to be a thing. You know what I mean? You just don't really know. So when you get that kind of news from the teacher, I think.
yeah. I got a
Hey,
special phone
today
call the
he's-
other day
he's
about that.
recognized 8 out of his 10 numbers. You see that development, and it's
And then all of a
Well,
sudden
that
it's
is that you
like,
see the hard work you put in.
right.
yeah, because you will not see progress for a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
and just understand that now. Don't. You cannot expect progress immediately because it will never be immediate, and you may do the wrong thing, thinking you're doing the right thing, and it may cause another behavior, but you can't hold that against yourself either. You're just doing what you can,
Figuring it out,
You're figuring it out
really.
along the way.
But
So-
I think nowadays it's kind of, I mean, almost everyone I feel like is affected by some sort of neurodivergency or
Well-
disability in some way, whether
well,
it's your
we're-
child or whether it's someone that you know's child. Like,
Yeah, I think we all see it now, and we recognize it for what it is now.
Right.
I think it just went unrecognized for a very
So
long time.
so
know,
long.
Um,
Kind of like an untouchable subject. We don't know how to fix it. We don't know what it is.
well, they just
so-
didn't know enough about it to really say anything definitive about it. It's such a broad spectrum of a thing that, like, are these two ends related? We didn't even know for so long.
Right.
you
Well,
know?
autism
safe-
is
there's no safe
diagnosed off
solution.
behaviors.
Yeah.
That is the only
And-
way to diagnose autism. So that's
and
why
that's
it's
why
such
Yeah,
a
they, can't,
broad
they can't take your blood.
spectrum.
They can't take your
Yeah,
blood.
yeah.
right.
You can do genealogy in the rare case you're
Yeah.
born with it.
Yeah.
So-
Then genealogy will show it, but that's so rare.
You might have said you're about to say the same
Well,
thing I am. Well, as we're moving into April as an Autism Awareness Month, what is coming up that you guys want to promote before we?
How do we interact with you
Yeah,
and
how
your
do we-
organization?
Okay.
Two questions about you can put all this together as we wrap it up here. If somebody wants to help with your organization, tell us that. And if somebody has someone in their family or a child with autism and they need your help, how do they go about that? And tell us what's coming up for April here, and give us all the lowdown on all your what is it called again?
Together for the TISM.
Together for the TISM.
Yes.
There it is.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so for April right now, obviously you guys were our biggest
This is
podcast.
our
We
baby.
were
This is
super,
a,
yeah.
this is a
You,
brand new baby. So
yeah,
we're just
and
trying to get it out there. At the
you
moment.
got,
Thanks for coming
we
on.
watched
I'm glad
you
we could
guys.
help. I'm glad we could
so
help.
when I was ready, I reached out to you guys because I'm like, these are the people that support the Wichita community.
They
and I
watched
wanna
us and
talk
they
to
came
them.
on anyway.
Yeah, I
Right?
know.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Hey,
great.
that
That's
made
a
us want
win.
to come on more. Okay,
That's a win.
Hey, we're so grateful that you guys had us.
And then the project that I can't speak of which company it's with. We're going to be putting on weekly classes. We're also working on doing some type of free swimming program.
Is there a way to
autism?
is there a way to follow you so we know when that
yes,
goes through?
absolutely.
It's togetherforautism.org, right?
Yeah, and then
Together
we
for the
did have
tism.org.
We'll put that on the description in this
Uh,
podcast.
yeah, we can do
Okay.
the skating event. Now we did create. I had my web developer because I don't like that stuff either, electronics and
We
such
can barely
things.
turn a show on, and we've been doing this
Yeah.
forever.
So I had my web developer. It was actually his idea. 100% amazing guy. If I could recommend him, I would, but he don't want to do no other work. He's so amazing. He created a shortcut. T4TT.org. So that's as simple as that. That will bring you directly to our
Say it
website.
again.
T4TT.org.
Together for the TISM.
.org.
All right.
So
bet.
T4TD.org.
What's,
All right.
what's
And,
the date on the skate night in New York City?
We have a completely free skate night for mixed
All
abilities,
abilities.
wheelchairs, any adaptive devices, autism,
Really cool.
sensory sensitive. It is on April 16th. It's at Main Street Skate in Winfield, Kansas. It is kind of far,
Ah, I live there.
but
Right? Yeah.
really,
Yeah, I live
my
there now.
brother's opening a meat shop. He's one of our sponsors, Family
Oh,
Tree Meats.
So he's the guy that's opening up
Yes.
1919.
Yes,
Okay.
that is my
Yes.
brother, and
That's
he is a
very cool.
big sponsor for Together for the TISM. I'm so
Shout out to
glad.
his place. What's his place
Yeah.
again?
Family Tree Meats. He owns
It's
a
not
butcher
even open
shop.
yet. It's
No,
like-
it
Not
opens
yet.
on the
It's
6th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sixth
so
of April?
of April, correct.
So make sure you
And,
get out to
and,
there.
and shout out Jacob McGuire. and,
Yes,
Main
Jacob
Street
McGuire. That's where
Skate.
the skating event is. I love him.
What a
too.
good dude. He also has
Oh,
Main
he's
Street
so
games.
amazing.
He's
I
And he's
think your
opened so
brother's
many
sponsoring
businesses.
the
He is
skate
so
night, right?
intelligent. Yeah, my brother completely sponsored the free skate night.
Awesome.
So the Family Tree Meats
All mixed
paid for
abilities.
everything.
That's awesome.
Completely free entry, free skates. We will be doing a couple raffles, giveaways. It's not only for mixed abilities, it's for everybody, for all abilities.
Yeah.
So any children, anybody, we're for the community. We don't just advocate for autism. Anybody we can
I think
bring
just,
in is
we just
welcome,
want everyone to
always.
feel included.
inclusive. I mean,
Well, there's a
yeah,
lot of
you know,
kids. There's a
That's a
lot of
big
kids,
part
and
of
my
it.
daughter included, that loves, like, not necessarily coming to help out, but like loves being a part of stuff like that.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of people that they're like having a friend there helps a ton. Like
Yeah.
when you have making and not, I don't want to say like you're making a friend with the normal community, but like when the more the fact that the kids that aren't not all that have autism are there, when we're just having an event now instead of just for the people that have autism.
Right.
And
I
the-
think
and the-
everyone just wants to feel included.
Yeah, and the whole
And that's what
community's
we're trying to
involved,
do.
and that's a great idea, and that's really, I think, how you get help for certain things and you include the community. I think that's brilliant.
and it raises like it helps with awareness, because if you're there and interacting, you can talk about it, you can read about it, you can think about it all day, but when you go and you interact and you're physically there
Experience it.
and you experience
Yeah,
it,
good
it is
experience.
so much more impactful, and you learn. I learn by doing, and a lot of people do, and you gotta insert yourself and create inclusion. Be the person who creates inclusion, and that's how we make change.
Yeah, 100%.
Be ready for the info.
And there's some kids that
Yeah.
are and there's some
We'll
kids that
be
are
the
amazing
voice
at
for the
that.
people who don't have the voice.
And there's some
Yeah.
kids that are amazing at that. And if you know those kids, shout out to those kids.
Our organization also once we get everything up and running with our 501c3 being approved, we're going to be working on providing communication devices
Like
for
Very
children.
cool.
speaking
Yeah.
That
tablets,
is so hard
I
through
mean, that is
insurance,
so
and
big.
that's one of our big goals. And then
And help with, like summer programs. where,
paying for
know,
summer programs, the Yes program, other programs like that. And then our biggest goal is eventually to put on a music. Well, we've already got a few things in the works. That's obviously a year so down one. This is, we're talking a day or two festival. This is big planning, but
Yeah, it's not,
that's
not
one
near
of
as
our
fun as you
future
think it is.
projects.
Right?
Yeah,
That's
no.
the goal.
Get with me
That's-
on that.
yeah,
Get
that's
with me
the
on
hard
that.
That's
Look,
the
get with us
goal,
on that.
you
We'll
know?
help you
Get
out.
with me
Like
on that.
talking about
absolutely.
it's fun, but
Absolutely. Well, I mean,
the
that's
planning
that's
it,
the
so.
goal.
It's at the very end of the day, a shout out to everyone that puts on festivals for all kinds of causes and just for music in general sometimes, but it's a hell of a lot of work. And
It is
Oh,
a lot
it
of
is.
work.
but
And
it's
that-
very
it-
gratifying work too as well.
It is, and I
Right.
think it brings. I mean, that's the one place that you can bring all the
All people together
all the
through
people
music.
together to appreciate the same thing.
All right,
Yeah.
so give us all the websites one more time before we close this up.
Okay, T4TT.org, which is together, number 4, thetism.org. That will also have all the links to all of our social medias, all
Okay.
of our
Right.
events, and all of our sponsors. Another sponsor I want to mention real quick, Pam's Lux. She's bath bombs, body
Oh, cool.
butters, and all kinds of things, and she's
Been very
donating a
supportive.
package to us and very close to our family and has supported autism. And so,
Great.
you
Yeah,
know,
together for
yeah.
autism, Facebook, TikTok.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
we
we'll,
have it. We have all of them. If
and
you
we'll
just
put-
follow that
we'll
link
put 'em
tree on
on-
the website.
and we'll put them in the description so you can get to that easy. So make sure you get it. Yeah, in the comments.
Yeah.
All right, bet you already got it. Thank you,
And,
Andy.
and April 6th, I'm gonna try to make it out there.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
do.
that would be
Yeah,
so
please
cool.
do.
He's in-
I
he's-
live there, and I got
he
nothing
needs
to do with
something
it.
to do in
Yeah,
Wakefield
and
anyway.
then
So
April 16th for the free skate night.
Free
Until
April
all,
16th.
yeah.
that's what it is.
Well, April 6th is the family tree grand
Meat night.
opening.
Oh,
We will be
do both.
also
That's
doing
you love the
some
meats.
kind of
I love
you
the
know
meats.
interactions with that. Yeah,
All right, so make sure you get with everything.
we love the meats.
and,
too.
and it's going to take more than just April, but it is April Awareness Month for Autism. So make sure you support it as much as you can. Get with all their websites. Get back with us at 7:00. Savannah Chestnut, another
Yeah.
podcast coming up here in a little bit. So
We'll be
We
here. Thank you guys so much.
appreciate
for
you
Yeah,
much.
thank you for having us. This was an incredible experience, and you guys are so easy to talk to.
Try
well,
our
thanks. We're glad
Thank
you're
you.
here.
We had a great time. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
We're just throwing ourselves out here, you know.
And I recommend the Rumble Shop before you do it.
Oh,
we would love it.
absolutely.
We would
That
love
is
it.
now on our